Today in this video, I'll be talking about Square Inc. and why I am investing long-term into their company. Concepts to be covered are information about the company, the favorableness of the entire industry, the market segment in which they operate in, the management team, and last of all, my overall thoughts on Square. Let's get started with some information about Square. When people first think of Square's business model, they may think payment processing or point of sales. That being said, I'll talk about this part of the model first. Square offers three pieces of hardware: the $99 stand, the $49 tap or chip reader, which you see at most stores, and their free Magstripe reader. All hardware is supported by Square's mobile software app, Square Register. Square charges merchants a fee of 2.65% plus a 10-cent fee for all major credit cards. Cheaper rates are available for companies doing $250,000 or more in revenues. There are no monthly fees or commitments, which I think is awesome. Square is virtually free if you only use the Magstripe reader. You only have to pay the small percentage plus the 10-cent fee. Square's value proposition consists of many different points. However, I'll only be discussing 5 of them. The first one I'd like to discuss is accessibility. Businesses of any size, no matter how small, can easily accept card payments. Although being accessible is attractive, pricing is where Square really stands out from their competition and creates a tremendous amount of value. The Magstripe reader is free. You can't get cheaper than that unless they literally pay you to use it. Other hardware prices are very low, and they do have bulk discounts for larger sized businesses. Last of all, as I mentioned earlier, fees are low compared to typical payment processors that charge multiple fees such as authorization, chargeback statements, returns, international, early termination fees, and blah 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 blah. It's simple. Square offers no long-term contracts, setup fees, or any other fees that are hidden that other processors include. Moving on, convenience is offered by making the offering easy to use. It only takes a few minutes for businesses to sign up and no credit checks are required. Merchants can easily see how each of their businesses are doing across their different locations on their mobile device through their real-time reporting feature. Also, companies do not have to wait long for payments, as funds are usually deposited into the merchant's bank account the following business day, and deposits the same day can be made for a 1% fee. This is a great feature to profit from businesses that struggle with cash flow related issues. Square also uses customization, which enables merchants to receive point-of-sale kits that are tailored by industry subsector: retail, food trucks, pop-up shops, bakeries, bars, restaurants, and so on. Square's last value proposition reduces risk to merchants in a number of ways while maintaining high satisfaction and security standards. Hardware offered has a 30-day return and a 1-year limited warranty for card readers. Encrypted transactions at point of purchase and monitored money until it's deposited into the merchant's bank account. Square ensures that all of their software and hardware follow PCI data security standards. PCI, for anyone who doesn't know, stands for Payment Card Industry. So now we're moving on to Square's competitive advantage. It stems from being more than just a point-of-sale processor. Differentiators of Square have shown both quality and innovation, but the company as a whole provides tools creating synergy and efficiency to merchants. Competitive advantages seem sustainable to me, as Square's platform brings almost everything together as a one-stop shop to not only do point of sales, but to manage your business. We're going to look into the favorableness of the industry, reviewing Porter's model of industry competitiveness. For anyone unfamiliar with Porter's model, we are referring to the industry as a whole and not just Square itself. The number of suppliers in the industry that Square operates is a lot compared to the amount of buyers. This means that the suppliers have less control over prices, as they tend to have to compete for business, and makes the bargaining power of suppliers weak. The product that these suppliers provide to companies similar to Square are standardized or less differentiated and also have low switching cost. This means Square can easily switch suppliers, which is another sign of low bargaining power of those suppliers. The suppliers do not compete with other substitutes in the fintech industry. This makes the bargaining power of suppliers a high or stronger force. The suppliers aren't likely a threat for forward or downstream integration where Square operates in. This is another sign of low bargaining power of its suppliers. The fintech industry Square operates in are important customers for their suppliers, which means that the industry's profits are related to that of the suppliers. Because of this, suppliers must provide reasonable pricing. This also makes the bargaining power of suppliers a weaker force within the industry. In summary, Square can purchase its raw materials from many suppliers at a very low cost, meaning they have power over those suppliers. Square can also have multiple suppliers and different suppliers for different geographical areas to ensure efficiency within the supply chain of Square. We are now going to talk about the bargaining power of Square's industry's customers. The number of companies similar to Square for customers to choose is low when compared to the number of customers. This means that buyers have a few options to choose from and therefore do not have much control over prices in the industry. This makes the bargaining power of customers to be a weaker force. Product differentiation within the industry is high. Therefore, buyers are not able to substitute firms producing a product. This also makes the bargaining power of customers to be weak. The income of the customers within the industry is low. Therefore, pressure to purchase at low prices make customers price sensitive. This makes the buying power of customers to be another weak force. Quality of the product is very important to customers, and these customers make frequent purchases. This means that buyers are less price sensitive. Wait a second, didn't I just say before this the customers were price sensitive? Yes, I did, but at the same time, those people are dealing with financial information, which is some serious stuff, and safety is a priority. Encryption is very important in this industry. Overall, this makes buying power of customers to be low once again. It is very unlikely that customers would integrate backwards to provide their own point of sale and other features, which is also lowers the customer's bargaining power. Square can continue to lower bargaining power of buyers by staying focused on innovation and by differentiating their products to attract new customers. In addition to innovation, Square needs to keep building its customer base through marketing efforts and building brand loyalty, which they have been doing very well. By creating a large customer base, Square can take advantage of its economies of scale to create a cost advantage and sell at the lowest price in the industry to hopefully dominate the market. Overall, Square customers have a very low amount of power over Square when it comes to prices and bargaining. This is great news for Square Inc. and its investors. We are now moving on to threats of new entrants within the industry. The economies of scale are difficult to achieve in Square's industry. This is good for established businesses that have a cost advantage. However, it makes production costs more for new entrants. This makes the risk of new entrants to be lower. The product differentiation within the industry is very strong. Firms in the industry do not sell standardized products. Customers are looking for these specialized products. Customers value advertising and great customer service as well. These factors combined make the threat of new entrants to be low. The capital requirements to enter this industry are very high, making it difficult for new entrants to set up business. The high cost of capital reduces the threat of new entrants. Government policies and regulations within the industry have strict licensing and legal requirements to be met before a company can start conducting business. This makes it difficult for new entrants to join the industry, which therefore makes the threat of new entrants to be low. Square can combat the threat of new entrants in the industry by using its cost advantage to crush its competition. Square, being an established company, has the funds to continue focusing on innovation and differentiation of products, as well as spending on marketing to build a stronger brand. This will help Square to keep its customers from the new entrants within the industry. There are limited substitutes for services that fintech companies such as Square offers. The most common substitute used is currently cash or services provided by banks and other financial firms such as loans, payroll, and tax prep. I'm not overly worried as the world is moving away from cash and towards digital options, so threats of substitutions is very low. Rivalry between firms is the last section of Porter's model. The number of competitors in the industry is very low, and most are larger in size. This creates an environment that has a low amount of rivalry within the industry. The few rivals in this industry have a large market share, therefore firms will engage in competitive actions to gain position and climb up the ladder to become the leader. This means that rivalry among existing firms can be strong or a higher force. High growth is expected to continue in the industry for years ahead. A positive to this is that competitors are more likely to target new customers instead of existing customers who may be loyal to other brands. Fixed costs are high within the industry, making companies strive for full capacity. This also means that when sales are down, companies are more likely to reduce their prices. This makes the force of rivalry to be higher within the industry. There are exit barriers as well within the industry due to high investment in capital to operate. Government regulations and restrictions add to those exit barriers. This makes firms reluctant to leave the business and to more likely operate at low profits instead. This adds a stronger force from rivals within the industry. The strategies of those firms in the industry seem to be diverse, meaning they are unique to each other. This results in strong competition among rivals. High capital requirements and strict regulation reduce the chance of startups coming into the existence. However, once established, companies can gather new customers with ease. Some of the biggest competitors by Square are Clover, Stripe, PayPal, Shopify, Payment Depot, and as well as the banks. Most of these companies focus on specific markets and have their own little niche. Clover is fully integrated point-of-sale and payment processor for retail, restaurants, and service-based businesses. Stripe is known to have highly customizable online payment processing for startups. PayPal is easy for basic processing and point-of-sale for online businesses, but I personally feel PayPal is less known for its in-person sales. Shopify is another point-of-sale for e-commerce and retail businesses. Payment Depot is best known for low-cost payment processing for more established businesses and larger-sized businesses. Square seems to be able to fit in all of these little niches, with it being so customizable and having both low cost to small businesses, but also do bulk deals for the bigger guys. Square also is getting into capital lending, payroll, and taxes, which I think not only gives them an edge over point-of-sale competitors, but an edge over the banks, which is pretty big. We'll now be discussing the overall market that Square operates in. The description of Square's possible customers is very broad. Any retail business that requires a point-of-sale system is in the industry Square belongs to. Businesses of any size are targeted by Square, big or small, they will help them all. I have to use some older numbers in order to see the number of potential customers within the industry. There are 1 million retail businesses operating in the USA during 2017. Those 1 million businesses surpassed $5 trillion in retail sales. There are also approximately 141,000 retail businesses in Canada operating and generating 668.5 billion Canadian dollars. For this video, and to keep things easy and comparable, we're going to call that number 527 billion US dollars. So the total potential customers in North America total approximately 1.1 million. And of those 1.1 million customers, they have the potential to bring in about 5.5 trillion US dollars a year. 2%, which is less than what Square charges, works out to be $110 billion a year that Square could be bringing in if they captured 100% of this segment. Retail market trends typically run in cycles, within North America being so materialistic. I do not see the market shrinking significantly outside of these normal cycles. I couldn't find any average prices for the industry, but Square spends $20 per customer acquisition. This to me is very low, considering once these companies get new customers, they tend to be loyal customers. Square's year-over-year growth is high double digits and even in triple digits during some of its quarters. They are also lowering their cost while they do this, so I expect to see nice growth numbers continue. We'll now be moving into the entrepreneurial / management team, and this is what really gets me excited about Square. A strong management team is one of the keys to success, and Square has no shortage of talent. I could talk forever about Square's management and their past success, however I'll try to keep it short for the sake of this video. So we'll start off with Jack Dorsey, the CEO and co-founder of Square. Dorsey is well known for co-founding and being the CEO of Twitter. He also sits on the board of directors for Walt Disney. This is important because under his leadership, Twitter has managed to stay relevant and keep users engaged, which can be applied to Square users in the future. Armida Huja, graduate from Duke University, also holds an MBA from Harvard Business School and is Square's CFO. Huja is a very impressive resume, starting as a senior analyst in strategic planning at Walt Disney, VP of Finance and Operations, VP of Strategy and Business Development at Activision Blizzard, which if you have ever played video games, you would be familiar that this is a very large-sized company. Before becoming the CFO at Square, she was working as a CFO as well at Blizzard Entertainment. Hardware lead Jesse Dorgester graduated from Stanford University and is most notable for being the director of engineering for iPod, iPhone, iPad, and accessories for 8 years, starting in 2003. He has seen some innovation in his career, and his design skills are a huge asset to Square. I was going to skip Brian Grasdana because at quick glance I didn't get too excited about him or his resume, but after analyzing a little bit more, I believe I realized what skills Grasdana brings to help Square grow. With experience at Norbank, Shanghai, and UBS investment banks in New York, Grasdana has a firm understanding of the banking industry. Management in Slide, which was acquired by Google in 2010, is also more experience brought to the table. These skills help create Cash App, and I think we'll see more innovation at Square when it becomes more competitive with the banking industry. Alyssa Henry, Sivan Whitley, and Helena Christensen also play important roles at Square, but this video is getting a little bit too long, so I'll be lumping some of these together as far as their history and skills go. These three have also had experience working at some of the biggest businesses in the world, including Amazon, Intel, Microsoft, and eBay. We're now going to be moving into my final conclusion on Square. So Square is a great business model and creates great value for its customers using its competitive advantages. Square Inc. holds a lot of power, which reduces the risk of variables of threats from customers, suppliers, new entrants, and their rivals, given them favorable odds within the industry. The market for this industry is large in size and is low cost for Square to acquire new customers. With a powerhouse of a team and each member having a specific skill set to help grow the company to be one of the most successful brands within the industry. So I currently hold shares of Square, and although I occasionally do some short-term technical trading, I'll be holding a long-term position and I'll not be touching this and continue to build more through dollar cost averaging. Most of my shares right now were purchased just above the $200 mark. So I've spent quite an amount of time creating this video. I've easily totaled over 7 hours just preparing the scripts, which includes making the rough draft of the scripts, editing the rough draft, and then filming, then editing the video, and so on top of the 7 hours. Please like this video and be sure to let me know in the comments of what you'd like me to cover next. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could like and subscribe.